Hare Krishna. Kindly accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to Morning Amrut Vani program. Her Grace Kalindi Mahisi Mataji will be giving her transcendental words of wisdom. Bhakta Rameshwar Nayak Prabhuji will be reading the Namamrita, followed by Bhakti Nrupamshi Sharma Mataji reading the Srila Prabhupada quote. Welcome to everyone once again. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada की जय। His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj की जय। His Grace शिक्षा गुरु रूप विलास प्रभु की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामामृत। ओम and Hare Krishna. This section includes only those instructions on Omkara encountered while gathering reference on Mahamantra. Omkara was not only separated research note. Omkara is sound representation of Supreme Lord. The principal word in Vedas, Pranav Omkara, is the sound representation of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Omkara should be considered the supreme sound. Omkara is the reservoir of all energies of the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has in many places given importance to Omkara. Bhagavad Gita 8.13, 9.17 and 17.24. Similarly, Omkara is given importance in the Atharva Veda and Mandukya Upanishad. In this Bhagavad Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami says, Omkara is the most confidential sound representation of the Supreme Lord. The sound representation or the name of the Supreme Lord is as good as the Supreme Lord himself. By vibrating the sound of Omkara or of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one can be delivered from contamination of this material world. Because such vibrations of transcendental sound can deliver the conditioned soul, they are known as the Tara or deliverance. In Mandukya Upanishad, it is said that when Omkara is chanted, whatever is seen material is seen perfectly as spiritual. In the spiritual world, in the spiritual world or in spiritual vision. Next page, please.
There is nothing but Omkara or the one alternate Om. As far as the Omkara Pranav is,
Hare Krishna, is concerned, it is considered to be the sound incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As such, Omkara is eternal, unlimited, transcendental, supreme, and indestructible. He, Omkara, is the beginning, middle, and end. And he is beginningless as well. When one understands Omkara such as he becomes immortal, one should thus know the Omkara as a representation of the Supreme situated in everyone's heart. One who understands Omkara and Vishnu as being one and the same and all pervading never laments in material world and does not remain a Shudra. Although he, Omkara, has no material form, he is unlimitedly expanded and he has unlimited form. By understanding Omkara, one can become free from the duality of the material world and attain absolute knowledge. Therefore, Omkara is the most auspicious representation of the Supreme Lord. Such is the description given by Mandukya Upanishad. One should not foolishly interpret an Upanishadic description and say that because the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot appear himself in the material world and in his own form, he sends his sound representation Omkara instead. Due to such false interpretation, Omkara comes to be considered something material, and consequently Omkara is misunderstood and praised as being simply an exhibition of or simple symbol of the Lord. Actually, Omkara is as good as any other incarnation of the Supreme Lord. The Lord has innumerable incarnations, and Omkara is one of them. As Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, amongst vibrations, I am the syllable Om. Bhagavad Gita 9.17. This means that Omkara is non-different from Krishna. Impersonalists, however, give more importance to the Omkara than to the personality of Godhead Krishna. The fact is, however, that any representational incarnation of the Supreme Lord is non-different from him. Such an reincarnation or representation is as good spirituality as Supreme Lord. Omkara is therefore the ultimate representation of all the Vedas. Indeed, the Vedic mantras or hymns have transcendental values because they are prefixed by the syllable Om. The Vaishnavas interpret Omkara as follows. By the letter O, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is indicated, and by the letter M, the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord, the living entity, is indicated. Shankara, Sankara is not even such importance to the Omkara. However, importance is given in the Vedas, the Ramayana, and in the Mahabharata from beginning to end. Thus, the glories of the Supreme Lord and the Supreme Personality Godhead are declared. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam to all. Prabhupada quote, 20th January. Yadi Varse Maghe Rasesa Dand Raja Punya Desha. This is the month of Magh. So at the end of Magh, if there is little rain, then it is to be understood that the king of that country is very pious and blessed. Mayapur, January 20, 1976. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. राधा रास बिहारी भगवान की जय, ललिता सखी विशाखा माता की जय, जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। दंडवत प्रणाम to all. As far as Omkara Pranav is concerned, it is considered to be the sound incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 17.23 says, from beginning of creation, three words, Om Tat Sat, were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during performing yajnas, sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 8.13 says, after being situated in the yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, and one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and if he quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. As such, Omkara is eternal, unlimited, transcendental, supreme, and indestructible. Mandukya Upanishad says that one should know Omkara as most auspicious representation of the Supreme, who is situated in everyone's heart as Ishvara. BG 18.61 says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutana Hridadeshe Tishtati Arjuna. One should understand Omkara and Vishnu as being one and same and all pervading. Although Omkara has no material form, is unlimitedly expanded. By chanting Omkara, one can become free from the duality of material world and attain absolute knowledge. Some foolish people think that because Lord cannot appear in this material world, so he sends sound representations, Omkara, instead. They do not realize that it is the one of the innumerable incarnations of the Lord in the form of transcendental syllable. They do not realize that the jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness extends everywhere. Among vibrations, BG 1917, Krishna says, among vibrations, I am syllable Om. This means it is non-different from Krishna. Omkara is prominent syllable in all four Vedas, Rig Veda, Samveda, Atharveda, Yajurveda. And in all Vedic hymns and mantras, Omkara is prefixed as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayan. So it is transcendental and it addresses to the Supreme Lord. Omkara is combination of letters A, O and Ma. Vaishnavas interpreted letter A as Krishna, O as Krishna's eternal consort Srimati Radharani, and letter M, Ma, the living entity who is eternal servant of the Lord. Such importance is given to the Omkara in Vedas, the Ramayana, the Puranas, and Mahabharata. One who chants Omkara no longer remains a Shudra, but immediately comes to the position of a Brahmana. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, sunrise, moonbeams, and taste of the water are different energies of me. And it says, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. In all the Vedic mantras, I am represented by Pranava or Omkara. Thus, chanting of Vedic mantras, beginning with Omkara, is directly chanting of Krishna's name. Srila Sridhar Swami describes Omkara as Tarankura, the seed of deliverance from the material world. One should always remember that the holy name of the Lord and Lord Himself are always identical. Abhinatvam nama namino. Without Omkara, no Vedic mantra is successful. The Goswamis therefore declare that Pranava Omkara is the complete representations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they have analyzed Omkara as Karane Jyote Krishna Sarva Lokeka Nayaka. Nayaka means leader. He is the supreme leader. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Who as pleasure potency of Krishna, Srimati Radharani. And Ma is living creature, Jiva. Thus, Om is complete combination of Krishna, his potency, and his eternal servitors. It represents Krishna, his name, fame, pastimes, intrudes, expansions, devotees, potencies, and everything pertaining to him. Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sarva Vishwadham. Omkara is resting place of everything, just as Krishna is the resting place of everything. Brahmano hi pratishta aham. Although there is no difference between Hare Krishna mantra and Vedic mantras beginning with Omkara, Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that in this age of Kali, one should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Eva Kevalam. Kalau nastev, 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 gatir anyatha. As regards Srila Prabhupada quote is concerned, this quote is from morning walk discussions between Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj and other disciples on 20th January 1976. After walking a little, they predicted that rains will start. Srila Prabhupada said, if rain starts, it's very good for these food grains. Srila Prabhupada said, it will rain for few hours in a day and stop. Yadi Varshe Maghirashesh Danda Raja Punyadesh. This is the month of Magh. So at the end of Magh, if there is little rain, then it is to be understood that the king of the country is very pious and blessed. This time a little rain is required. Srila Prabhupada said, Khanara Vachana is a book where this astronomical prediction is given in small verses. It is amazing how everything is so scientifically analyzed in the Vedas. Perfect Shruti Pramanam. Kings were spiritually advanced. They had spiritual knowledge and they appointed rishis and rajarishis as their ministers. Reigns in the end of Magh month through their religiosity and piousness. It is said that in the kingdom of Yudhishthira, everyone used to fast on Ekadashi day. Kings were so exalted, they intended to elevate their subjects on a spiritual platform also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.